All right, y'all. She told me how to introduce her, but I'm not gonna listen to her. So, from the streets to Ohio raised, from the military to nursing, from the East Coast to the West Coast, is a woman with a lot of experience and a lot of wisdom. Who are we with today?
Miss Megan.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right, so perception is all about. I want the series to be all about speaking to a person's soul and not their outer character, not that outer shell. So we're not speaking to the bad B words. We're not speaking to the egos. We're not speaking to none of that. We're speaking to your spirit, to your soul. And it was one question I thought of this week, and I want to ask you it. So I know you're not supposed to question God, but has there ever been a time when you had a question for God?
absolutely. I have questions for God on a daily.
What was that? Do you want to share with that question? Hold on. You got questions daily?
Yeah,
Hey.
because God is that's like my BFF.
I'm talking.
So,
I'm talking
or do
about
you mean
a
like-
question like of where you don't understand something.
Okay,
Not like
I got
what your
something like
future
I'm
gonna look like,
questioning
but yeah,
him
question.
as to,
Like no disrespect, God, but
You know, I do. I've had questions of that sort. Just kind of where I am in my life right now is not where I envision to be, I should say. Like, yes, I've accomplished some things and I'm proud of those accomplishments, but I guess like if I was to go back as a child, what I dreamed of and how that doesn't ultimately match where I am today. There's just certain things that I
don't know
wish.
why. What did you do?
Yeah, like
wrong?
did I make a wrong decision somewhere that's ended me up to where I am today? Which could be for the better. You know, sometimes you go through certain paths in life, and you make certain decisions, and it's not until you're able to look back and say, okay, now I understand why I made the decision I made or why I went through what I went through.
Question.
Yeah.
In a short, sum it up. Not too short though. But what was the idea? Without putting, I don't want to put your age out here. But what was the ideal life that you thought you was gonna be at this point in life?
What do you mean?
Like you said when you was young, you would ask God.
Also, for example, like, not to say my age, but I just knew I'd be married by now, right? And seeing that, I'm not married yet, it's like, wait, like, I felt like I was hitting all the right marks in life. How am I where I am today? Where did I miss the mark? You know?
The marks you was hitting in life, do they coincide with a man?
Certain marks, yeah.
Which one? Which one?
What do you mean?
Like, what mark do you think went along with that? What mark do you think or goal that you accomplished in life you think would have made you better for a man? And which mark did you think maybe have got in your way?
I feel like there were a few marks that probably have gotten in the way.
Which one? Like, what? Name one.
I don't want to be like too descriptive, right?
No, you don't. I'm talking about your own personal. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That would speak on how it led me to where I am, or where I probably fell short. Because,
see, that's the challenge.
So I think my issue was, and now that I'm learning, now that I'm older, I didn't always place myself first, right? So there were certain things that I probably should have been more focused on regarding myself that I put on the back burner to have other things in my life that aren't really benefiting me now.
It's hard to do that. I guess it's hard to answer that question without being descriptive, because I'm like, what?
You're completely lost. But if I was to tell you off
Put
record,
yourself first. So why
didn't get it?
I don't need a question in. Is this too personal? What do you think that was in you that didn't allow you to put yourself first? Like, what was it?
Honestly speaking, just loving myself. Had I loved myself harder, then I probably would have been further ahead, or wouldn't have put up
that's what you
with
put up.
So much.
What does loving yourself mean? A lot of people talk about that nowadays. What does loving yourself mean?
So loving yourself, one, you have to first understand yourself to love yourself. And I know that comes with time, right? So you like most times, like you don't really, or what I think, you don't really learn yourself until maybe mid-20s is when you really get a feel of learning
You think that's
who you
natural?
truly are.
Or is
No,
that
I
our
think
society?
it varies. But for the most part, because like I think about who I was in college, I didn't know who I was in college, right?
That's why my daughter ain't going to college.
Yeah, like I had no idea who I was, and I was just, but I had a great
Not
time
knowing
in
who you
college.
was, mixed with alcohol, mixed with
Yeah, you make
freedom,
some irresponsible
man. I ain't
decisions
sending my
for
daughter to
sure.
college.
I had a blast in college. Like I wouldn't take that back, but I do think if I was more so focused on who I was, I wouldn't have wasted so much time. A lot of like irrational decisions that has affected me later in life that I then had to go back and fix. You know, like I think I would have, if I would have just took that time to kind of just live in the moment, find out who I am and what I want, and focus on that, it probably would have been a different path.
We gotta dig deeper.
Okay, so what is your definition of self-love?
All right, grasshopper. So when I think of self-love, I think of knowledge of self first. In order to have knowledge of self, I feel like you have to know where you come from, or just like I like the analogy that you a fruit that don't know what tree you grow off of. So if you a apple, but you think that you came from an orange tree, you're gonna be acting and moving like an orange when that's against your nature. So I feel like self-love starts with knowing who you are.
So at what age, or if you can recall, remember
Get me?
learning? Is that
Late.
something that your parents taught you, or you kind of had to learn?
Yeah, you just said you don't want to go all in your business.
No,
You
it's
gonna
just
throw
a
my
yes or
parents
no.
under
It's
the
just a
bus?
yes or no.
If I say no, I'm throwing my parents under the bus. If I say, dang. Okay, so we're gonna answer it like this. Yes, my parents taught me as much as they knew. They taught me morals, principles, how to stand. My dad taught me that is a part of knowledge of self, how to be a man and everything else. But then when I got older, around probably 25, which I feel like is too late. Not too late, but late. Around 25, I started learning more in-depth version of self-love and knowledge of self. And
So we agree that in your mid-20s, you start to really learn. Or you
because
still
there's some
think that's too
40-year-olds
late?
that ain't got it. I feel like that's too late, though. I feel like it would benefit us more if we started learning who we was around 15, around puberty.
Okay.
So if we started valuing your hot, I can't call it hot box, man. Your box. Nah, because a hot box is disrespect. You start valuing your treasure box, and I start valuing my life-giving thing. We start valuing ourselves in puberty while our bodies are changing and developing us to be adults. That'll be the best time for us to know who we are, so we can eliminate all these mistakes that we do have.
But if we're being honest, when is that really taught? Because even in middle school, high school, now elementary, when they're talking about your reproductive system and learning your body parts, it's taught in school, and it's very brief.
Now, knowledge of self ain't gonna ever be taught in school.
Absolutely, but I'm saying, you say it starts with knowing that part of you. So, would you say that your environment could contribute to how quickly and how early you learn yourself too? And the reason I say that because even culturally or even geographically, because I saw this, I'm good at watching documentaries. So I saw this documentary about, I think it was in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, and they teach like their toddlers about 4 going into kindergarten, how to run errands on their own. Right? They test their children,
I
right?
think I've seen that too.
Yeah, so
It's a much safer place, though.
right. So and they're definitely about like discipline.
I feel like ours, I can't speak for any other race, and not to bring race or whatever into it, but I feel like ours is gonna always be different because I don't believe this is where we supposed to be living. Like in America, I don't think American culture, American society is set up for us to even know knowledge of or love ourselves. Because they
So
make
you
so
think
much
we're
money
limited?
off of our depression. They make
So
money
we're
off of
limited on
Yeah, so I feel like ours has to start in home. So I feel like it needs to be a generation of our generation learning it and then teaching our kids way earlier and not being caught up in the rat race where we don't talk to our kids, where we don't study anything, where we don't read, make our kids read books. I think
But like
knowledge,
other areas in life where we're behind
yeah.
the learning curve and always having to play catch up, then that's time.
You know what I think the first knowledge of self start? Then I leave. Learning how your like anatomy, science, learning how your body actually works. And
It's
you learn that your body is a
amazing.
miracle. You will have way more confidence.
I'm not even saying it's amazing because that's not it's something to brag about. But it's mind blowing just being in the healthcare. Just being in healthcare.
There you go.
How many people do not know their body at all? And I'm talking about, like you said, simple body organs. Just not know.
How your body even works. How can you love yourself if you don't even know how it works?
Yeah.
You don't know why it was beautifully crafted. Like I feel like studying my body, I learned about God. So it's like I believe that's where it starts off. And then your history again. And you learn about these, not even all the kings and queens, but the warriors, the farmers, the innovators, the scientists, all the way back from before slavery and all that, like your DNA, your ancestors. That give you a sense of pride, sense of confidence. There ain't nothing you can't do because we already did it. Oh, that was a bar. That was a bar. Keep going, I'm recording. That was just a bar.
Okay.
So, I guess I don't even know what's the next question.